in the midst of COVID-19. We're so excited to be able to do this.
COVID-19, right. So it's 2020.
It's 2020.
That happens more often than it should. In my brain, that's the first time I've spoken it out loud. Anyway, welcome back to Coffee with a Missionary. I feel like it's been a while since we've done one of these. Probably been a month. Mm-hmm. But what else are you doing right now? So if you're scrolling on Facebook, tune in because you can't go anywhere. So tune in with us tonight. We've got some really great missionaries that we're going to be talking to. Would you like to introduce them?
Yeah, I will. We're getting a little bit of an echo, so I'll kind of turn this down. But yeah, today we're so excited because we have Jamie and Berly Bello. They are missionaries to the Dominican Republic, and we're excited to talk to them. But before we do, we just want to say that we love interaction. And so, we could just tape a video and put it up. I have a question
real quick.
Yeah.
That's an example of an interaction.
So you can't do that physically because of social distancing. But you can comment in, and we'd love to know where you're watching from. Hey, Don Cartledge. And so we'd love to know where you're watching from. We'd love to know what your favorite snack in COVID-19 is. So what's your favorite lockdown snack? And my guess is most of them will be sweets. But anyway, as I was saying, instead of a pre-recorded video where you just watch and say, oh, that was cool, the reason we do this is we want to give time for you to interact with actual missionaries on the field. So without further ado, we're going to invite Jamie and Berly on and have them introduce themselves.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for being on here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So why don't you guys just introduce yourselves as a family, how maybe the two of you met, how your kids happened, just kind of give us a quick story of your life. Not how, but
My name is Berly Bello. I was born here in the Dominican Republic. We have two sons. Ethan is 10 and Logan is 9. My lovely wife.
Awesome.
I'm Jamie.
Started off strong. Sorry. Good job.
And Ethan just hollered from downstairs that he turned 11 during the quarantine. So,
quarantine birthday.
Party thing. So the number changing hasn't clicked.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I'm from Washington State in the Northwest. That's where I was born and raised, and was a youth pastor for about 5 years before I went into full-time missions. The Dominican Republic, single, but as a career missionary. And after I was here a year, we met at a camp. I was speaking to the young people, and he was there hanging out as a young adult, and conversation started, and then we're doing a youth convention. We needed a music guy to run the band and worship, and everybody told me, you need to talk to that guy that you met. So we started doing ministry together and got married about a year and a half later.
Wow. Did that cause any problems while you were on the field, or was it pretty,
It was all good.
Sure.
I get a little bit nervous at first because father had a strategic role in the national church. At the time, his father was the superintendent of the Assemblies of God. And so I thought, well, if he's not okay with this idea, there goes the mission field.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was all good.
Wow.
That's awesome. And Berly, I just want to say I'm very impressed, that you're able to do this interview in your second language, because I couldn't imagine trying to do anything like this in Spanish. So that's awesome. We've already had a few different people say hi. Carl Hayes, who's a pastor in Illinois. Hi, Carl. Thank you so much.
Hi, guys.
And we have Teresa Vasquez from Tegucigalpa, Honduras, fellow missionaries. I think you may know the tweets from the Dominican Republic. Hey, guys. And Wendell Kruger says hi to Teresa, a fellow commenter. So
that's my dad.
Oh,
awesome.
Wonderful.
Very cool.
Wonderful. Hi, Mr. Dad. Great to see you.
Jamie, when was your son's birthday? What date?
March 19th.
Oh.
So it was like
right at the beginning. When did you guys close down, like lockdown in Dominican?
I think it was March 16th. Right before it. Yeah.
So close. What did you guys end up doing? Were you able to like get takeout or anything, or
No, there wasn't any takeout, and I had forgotten the gifts because I was going to go shopping last minute, and we were totally not prepared for it to be shut down. But we got online, and he got a new Xbox game. That
awesome.
So that was good. We had birthday cake, and the promise of a party when this ever ends.
Sure.
So the promise is still in waiting, but it'll happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so why don't you talk a little, give us an update of, from the DR, what the situation with COVID has been from your guys' perspective.
Yeah.
Well, we've been in quarantine almost for 2 months. Everything shut down. Start at 5 p.m. If you are out of the house, you could be arrested until 6 a.m. the next day. But during the day, only a special companies can open. No, not everybody stayed home.
It's just like grocery stores and the pharmacies and medical facilities that are open, and they haven't given a number system. So if you need to go out, you go out. But if you don't absolutely need to, you don't.
Sure.
Wow.
My youngest son makes sure we've taken a couple trips out in the car a couple times just because, wow, it's 2 months in the house. That's a long time. And each time he was very closely watching the clock to make sure that we were home before that 5 o'clock hour, because he's very concerned about that.
Sure.
So
Arrested.
was that from the very beginning, the 5 p.m. to 6 a.m., just right off the bat?
They did the shutdown, and within 4 or 5 days, they started the curfew. We've had the curfew the whole time.
Okay.
And right now, they say it's until May 17th.
Okay.
But today, we're waiting to hear if Congress allowed a new 25 extra days of the emergency, which probably will happen. So,
Have a lot of people been getting sick, or has this helped, do you think?
I'm sure that it's helped. I think that the whole lower the curve thing gotta have helped. But there's still people getting sick. We haven't gotten to the point where the new amount of people getting sick each day has.
Okay. You haven't hit your peak yet.
Exactly. So they're not at the point where they can let everybody go back.
Wow. So air travel was shut down pretty quickly. And what about travel?
All borders are shut down. For the most part, they didn't shut travel within the country. You could drive into the interior, except there was the Easter week that in Latin America is called Semana Santa.
Yeah.
And most everybody always goes to the beach or goes to the interior. They shut that down and they closed off. They put military at every exit to the major cities, and they wouldn't let anyone travel to the beach because they were afraid that would definitely create a lot of problems. So it was kind of funny because churches actually celebrated Easter this year for the first time in the history of the 20 years I've been in the DR, because it's so different from the States. Easter is the biggest Sunday in the States, but here in Latin America, it's probably the least attended Sunday because everybody takes family vacation that weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. So what do you think the general feeling as far as, is there a lot of fear from the average person not knowing what this virus is going to do?
I think there was in the beginning when we first shut down and stuff, and there was a lot of texting and a lot of false news and all kinds of ideas and stuff being thrown out there. That seems to have calmed down quite a bit. And for the most part, people we were in contact with understood the need for the lockdown. But they're kind of at the end of that, where now they're fighting against that, resisting.
Yeah, everybody are frustrated.
yeah, people want to get back to work. They need to.
Sure.
A lot of people haven't been getting paid. A lot of people don't have enough food.
Yeah.
Yeah, how has the food supply been and toiletries and stuff like that when you are able to get to the store?
It's hit and miss, and Bailey's gone to the store most of the times for us. I give him a list, and he comes back, and he's got most of it, but not all of it.
Sure.
So in the beginning, there were runs on, not as much runs on toilet paper as we heard about in the States, but there was runs on chicken and on bread and flour and some of those baking supplies and stuff, because people weren't sure how long it was going to last, and they wanted to be able to make the staples instead of.
Wow.
Speaking of food, what has been your guys' go-to snack during the COVID-19 pandemic? Your guilty pleasures.
Well, mine is very different than his.
Yeah.
He thinks mine is crazy, and he does not like it at all.
Okay.
Popcorn with M&Ms on top.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds delicious, and I love it. All right, Berly, what about yours?
I like fruit.
Fruit?
Yeah, no.
Not even
For example,
fruit.
apple, oranges.
All right.
I'm not. I know I don't enjoy that much like cake or something like that. No.
Okay.
Well,
Prefer salad or fruit.
that's
No
awesome.
te gustan los dulces, no? Okay.
No.
There you go. You got some Spanish there.
Awesome. Well, if you're just
It's actually
joining us,
Puerto Rican. I'm just kidding.
No.
Sorry.
if you're just joining us, thanks for joining Coffee with the Missionary. We're talking with Jamie and Berly Bello. They are missionaries to the Dominican Republic, talking a little bit about what the COVID-19 situation is like for them. But if you're watching, as some of you have and commented in, thank you so much. We look forward to your interactions, and any comment or question you want to ask, or you want to know more about the Bellos, feel free to comment that in. We want to say hi to Steve Shoup, who commented in, watching from lockdown in Springfield.
Hey.
Hi, Steve. And Ronald Abreu. I'm probably saying that last name wrong. I'm sorry.
Abreu.
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 He's one of our Dominican guys who's in the States right now.
Oh, cool. All right.
Awesome. So one thing I wanted to talk about and was really interested about was how COVID-19 has affected the way that you do ministry. So maybe first of all, tell a little bit about how long you've been in missions and kind of what your ministry has been, and then talk about how things have shifted.
Okay. Well, when I came to the DR 20 years ago, it was to do youth ministry with teenagers. And within the first year, we developed what is known as MDA, the National Teenage Ministry with the Assemblies of God. I still direct that with a team of people. And so with that, we do a lot of youth leader training around the country. We do camps and conventions and congressos and stuff like that. Then about 5 years ago, we launched diversity ministry, similar to Chi Alpha in the States. Here we call it U Connection, and I direct that, again, with a team of people. And our new ministry project that we have added alongside this year is we're launching a brand new church in the part of the city where we live. So, and Berly has a whole nother ministry that he runs completely on his own.
Yeah, I like music a lot. Since I was young, God it inspired me to study music, learn the piano, with the purpose to help other ministry, churches, and our youth team to be better in the thing that they do in the worship part of the ministry, and also help with different artists, helping them recording the album, finish writing. That is my lane.
Wow.
Music.
he has a recording studio in our home.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, are you a musician, or do you like, the other side of,
Let's call a producer.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Musician, mix engineer, the writer,
Nice.
and directing the singer the best way they can perform better.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
So
awesome.
that's so awesome. Yeah. And we're I am a pianist. I did my Bible college degree in piano, and
Oh,
so
wow.
where I love music, but I'm interested because growing up, I grew up in the Midwest, and I played a lot of piano, like an upright piano. I'm just wondering, in the DR though, is it mostly teclados, mostly keyboards?
Yeah, keyboard, no acoustic piano.
Okay. So how did you get, I'm just interested, Barely, how did you get involved in music, like when you were young?
Well, I had friends that they own studios, and some people spend their youth in the basketball court or baseball field. I spend my time in their studio as a person, learning and staying there, just being there. And while you are there, more people involved in the music. Later on, I start buying my own equipment and learning how to use them. I'm happy and glad that I can use that to I can use that as a weapon. Let's see.
Oh, man.
You studied in the conservatory.
Yeah, also I study in the conservatory.
Wow, amazing.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. I wish we would have planned to have you play something for us.
We'll have you guys back.
All right. You can look up his Facebook page. A couple weeks ago, he posted a piano solo during the COVID thing, and people.
Awesome.
He was also on another live for a Dominican music show about being one of the. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
The originals who started Christian rap music in the Dominican Republic.
Oh my goodness,
awesome.
that is so cool.
He wasn't one of the rappers, but one of the producers that made the beats.
That's amazing.
Wow.
They call me old.
They did. They called him old.
So you're
90s, so it's like, oh.
So I don't know the Spanish word, but it sounds like you're a legend.
Not quite. No.
Un jefe.
There you go.
So both of your quote unquote jobs, your ministries, your talents, what you're working with is to me solely based on people. You use other people's music, and then you work with, all of these other ministries. So how are you guys making that happen with COVID-19? Are you going online? Are you getting creative? Is it difficult? Kind of walk us through even like how you from the beginning until now, like how's that going?
We made in the stuff that I run in the teenage ministries and the university ministries, a complete and total shift that we have not been prepared for, or nobody knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everything before the university ministry was in person. We have a community center right near the largest university in Santo Domingo, and it's open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, for students to come in. That's where we train our student leaders. We have discipleship classes, and they do small groups on campus. Well, university shut down, our center shut down, and everybody's at home. Luckily, with missionary groups and meetings, when we meet with people around different countries, I had already learned Zoom. Okay. So quickly told my staff about Zoom, and I said, I think we better start putting this to use. And so we shifted within the first week and turned all of our university ministry online through Zoom, and our staff. I really let our staff team. We have a missionary association with us, Amanda. I let them spearhead it and figure how they were going to attack it, and then I helped the teenage ministry team.
Okay.
So, they figured out how to do Instagram Live for our main weekly gatherings, which, and Zoom for small group meetings and everything. What's really been cool is we have more students attending small groups online than we did on campus.
Wow.
Because they've had more free time and they're really liking it, and they were looking for community and everybody at home and stuff. So it is working amazingly well.
That's
in
cool.
the ministry.
Wow.
The teenage ministry, that's more like event based, and we have youth leader mentoring groups that go on a regular basis. We turned those online, except for a couple new ones that we were going to start that were out in the interior of the country where internet access is not as easy, and they needed the books and stuff to study. So we had to put a couple of those groups that we're going to start on hold.
Okay.
But then I decided we need to help the youth leaders that now are trying to figure out how they can connect with their students online. And this is not a country that had ever tried that before. Churches were not online. Streaming is like a brand new term.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
said we need to be the one to help them figure it out. So we started doing Zoom workshops. We sent out, we had emails of a bunch of them, and we have we do a lot of chat groups on WhatsApp on our phones. So we started getting the word out, asking them, what do you need? What do you need help with? Do you know how to do Zoom and YouTube and Facebook Live and everything? And then started filling needs, giving them trainings on different subjects, and giving them resources, helping them come up with material that they could use, and just hitting every aspect of what they were asking for. And we started creating a lot of content directly for students also that we posted on social media, Instagram, challenges on evangelism and challenges on prayer and Bible reading, and getting them into the YouVersion app and in group Bible reading plans.
Wow.
And it's been really helpful. And
Wow.
the leaders have responded that they felt that we came alongside.
Cool.
I think that we have found something that we will continue with
Sure.
that we hadn't expected. How have you shifted online?
I've been with the other people on our team recording song for the service, the online service that we have every Sunday in our church. I send them the demo, the guide with the metronome, and they record their part with the cell phone camera, and then I mix it and put it together. Our guy there that we have, Javier, he put the video together.
Oh my goodness.
Fancy effect,
Wow.
Then we do the service and the training Sunday using Zoom. We do it privately.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
It's for our
incredible.
Yeah.
So, sorry, we went out for a second, then we came back.
That's all right.
But I think I caught it. Barely, you were saying that you, through a cell phone, you give like a metronome, and you're doing some recordings, and you have a guy who's putting together some videos for worship and things like that.
Yeah, for the to do worship in our meetings.
For our new church plant.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not gone public yet. We didn't have a venue. We were looking for a venue. So we've been meeting since February with our church plant team. We have about 50 people, 6 kids. So as we're trying to do our weekend meetings on Zoom, live worship doesn't work well. So they're recording songs and making videos of the worship.
Oh, great! With the different parts of the different windows of people playing, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, yes. I put the take the song, record the piano, and with the metronome, and I send it to the other member of the team. They record the vocals, guitar.
Wow.
I mix it, and then the video goes to all the videos go to the guy that produced the video.
Wow.
Was Javier, and he mixed it that awesomely. And Sunday we play it.
Has any of this been kind of fun in a weird way to like figure out? Not like you want it to last forever, but it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't know I could. You can say no. I just,
Mhm.
you both seem very creative. That's all.
I think it's been fun to see our team, and it's with a lot of volunteers and stuff, like reactivate and put our heads together and let's get creative. And how can we solve this problem? How can we help in an area that we didn't know we were going to be helping in?
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
No, that's incredible, and that's definitely we can see that we can see God's hand in the midst of this, because there's what I've just been feeling and sensing is just that even though we're so isolated, we've never been more connected.
Yeah.
And really the only thing separating a lot of people at this point is language. Because anyone who speaks English anywhere I could connect with them, and you kind of know where people are. They're at home.
Exactly. And here you especially know the 5 o'clock hour is if you're going to do a live or anything, you wait. 5 o'clock or 5:30, everybody has to be home.
That's true. That's true.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. Well, if you're just watching, this is Coffee with the Missionary. Thanks for joining us. I want to get to a couple of comments that we have. First of all, we go back to Patty Code, who says, we love Berly and Jamie. They're doing an amazing job in the DR. Former area directors of the Caribbean there. And we have Catherine Figueroa, missionary to Mexico, saying, watching from Los Angeles. Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
She says, bless you, familia Bello. And yeah, it sounds like there's some comments just on when you're talking about the different ways you've innovated, and I thought it was so cool that, you're providing trainings too for Zoom and for these types of things, and that's awesome. Who knows the impact of that? One thing I think is that you had mentioned that you had a lot of familiarity with Zoom. And I think as missionaries, we use Zoom a lot. Maybe the average missionary was more aware of Zoom than the average person. So that's now coming in a benefit at this time, right?
It was extremely helpful. But who knows Zoom really well now is our kids.
Okay.
Our kids have been doing online classes with their private school. In fact, the private school had decided to send students home a couple days before the government decided they were giving the stay-at-home orders.
Okay.
And shifted them immediately to Google Classroom and to doing Hangout chats in Google and using Zoom. And I have to schedule my kids' Zoom calls with their teachers on my phone, or we miss them too. So they teach me new things, and they know how to switch the backgrounds and stuff better than I do.
Yes.
So a little bit of a rabbit trail here, but I feel like it's something that's applicable for most people that are watching. How has this been really hard for you as parents with your kids? Not in the Dominican Republic, but just in general. What have been some of the challenges that you've seen, and how have you navigated that spiritually even?
Yeah. I think in the school.
Wow, school was rough switch for me.
Yeah.
I've been one that people ask, as we're overseas, do you homeschool? And I'm like, no. I don't have time to figure out how to homeschool. I'm not a teacher. I don't want to do that. Well, I think God was kind of laughing a little bit, because even though their school is, giving all the classes and stuff, it immediately meant that I dedicate a lot of time to helping them. My 9-year-old, he'd never been on a computer hardly, and he didn't know how to use Google all the platforms. And so And I've gotten into a rhythm. I had to basically realize mornings, my new job on my plate is being the teacher assistant and helping my kids do what they need to do. And the rest of what I need to do has got to be afternoon and evening. Because at first I resisted and it was like, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
But we're doing much better now.
Yeah.
It hasn't been easy on our kids to not be able to see their friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're seeing them on a screen and stuff, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And
they would like to go and play.
yeah, it's been harder for the 9-year-old than the 11-year-old. And we're learning more about the personality. He was the one that I thought was quieter and less social. And I have found, he is a different kind of social. And it's been harder for him than the other one, who we knew was the total extrovert and social.
Wow.
But it's been giving us opportunity to talk about, okay, what do you do when you're frustrated and angry? Instead of just reacting, he was on a FaceTime call with his grandma the other day, and she helped talk him through some things and names to the emotions. And it's okay to tell mom and dad how you're feeling and take a moment and pray about it, because God can help. And that's the difference.
That's
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. And it just seems like once people emerge from this time, every one of us is going to be much more mature people. I mean, we're all being forced to learn and grow, but that's awesome. Well, I want to take a little second for a commercial. You guys can take a breath. We'll take you off the screen. But I want to do a little commercial, first of all, for LAC's YouTube. So if you don't know, LAC has a YouTube channel, and I'll put it up on the screen here.
They do?
They do. Yeah, they do.
Now
here
I know.
It is. You can just go to, you can search LAC World Missions on YouTube, and you can see we got different playlists. We have opportunities, which lists some opportunities for missionary associates to go and work in the field, which in the Dominican Republic with the Bellos, there's an opportunity to work with them. So if you're interested, please look on the LAC website, lacworldmissions.org. Also, you can see Coffee with Missionary Season 1, Season 2. We're currently on Season 3. We've got about 35 different videos there. So all that stuff is really cool. And so we just wanted to make you aware of that. And I wanted to share an awesome testimony that we received. And we've been doing Coffee with a Missionary now for 2.5 years or something like that, just starting our 3rd year. And really our desire for Coffee with a Missionary is to bring people one step closer to daily life on the mission field. And really, not only that, but our desire is that through Coffee with a Missionary, God would call people to take one step closer. And so we just received email from our pipeline director, which the pipeline for LAC is the way that someone who's interested in missions just sends an email or fills out a little form, and you're connected to actual missionaries. And so Leah Musacho is the pipeline coordinator, and she said that there's someone now in the pipeline who, she asked the question, what made you interested? How are you interested? And she said, or this person said, I've watched Coffee with a Missionary on the YouTube page. I've watched so many of them, and it's given me such a greater understanding of what missionary life is. And now this person is taking a step further into missions. So I just wanted to say, praise God for that. That's why we're a huge reason why we're doing this. And it's just an encouragement. So for you that are tuning in now, please share this. And you can also go on the LAC World Missions YouTube, or you can also go on the website, which is lacworldmissions.org. And through that, you can see we've talked with missionaries from almost every country around Latin America and the Caribbean, young missionaries, veteran missionaries, area directors, groups of missionaries, all of these things. And so there's so much to learn. I can tell you that before we were missionaries, I wish there was something like this, because I would have been eating it up. So anyway, commercial over. All right. Hopefully the Bellos got a little chance to catch their breath and wiggle their face. That's always what I feel like I need to do. So hey guys, welcome back.
Have you done wiggling? Have you wiggled enough? We have toddlers.
Oh, hold on, we can't hear you.
Is your mic on? Hey,
There we go.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
We've got toddlers, so the word wiggle is used a lot. I think there's a song that the wiggles out. It's just a thing. So, but anyway,
Yeah. So you guys had mentioned that you are in the midst of starting a church. Can you just share a little bit about what was the heart behind that?
and I feel very privileged because you said it's not super public yet, so this is your chance. You know,
Let's
publicize this.
Yeah, it's not super public in either country, but it's going to be soon. And some of what Berly has been working on with the worship videos and stuff is now we're creating content for our online presence that we know was coming quite as soon. But when we were itinerating a few years ago, I felt God start to speak to me about this, and I laughed a lot because I have always said I never wanted to ever be a lead pastor.
I'm sorry. When will Christians stop using that phrase? Because it never works out good for us.
It really doesn't. It's not a good idea. So, but when we came back to the DR and returned to the church that we've been a part of for 20 years, I just kept sensing that God was turning me to look at our part of the town that we've lived in. We've actually lived on the same street the whole 20 years that I've been here, but in 4 different houses at the same landlord. And our kids go to a school close by, and it's a part of town that doesn't have any Assembly of God churches in it for the most part. And really, it's a part of town where there's a lot of influencers. And I feel a special call from the Lord to plant a church to influence the influencers, to seek and invite people who are not a part of any church and have never been, and maybe have never realized that they need God in their lives, because honestly, they have a lot of other things and they think that they're okay.
Sure.
Right now, they're realizing that, wow, the pandemic is affecting them just as much as all the rest of the people in the country that have a lot of felt needs. And so they're becoming a little more responsive. And I think that God is kind of opening a window and a door of opportunity to reach out into these families' lives. And we had started to get to know families because my kids are in the school. And when your kids are in school and they do sports, you know, the moms and dads. And I just felt like from every direction, God was showing me, look, they've never been to church and they've never been to church and no one's ever invited them and they don't know anything about church. And
Yeah.
wow. And I've been in the neighborhood for 20 years.
Wow.
You're right. And no one else is doing it. And we need to do church in a new way. We need to open a new paradigm of what church can look like that will really reach this demographic of people. And so that's what we are endeavoring to do. Its name is Comunidad Vida y Gozo. It means life and joy community. And I really want to start a church where it's just like that. We enjoy living with Jesus, and Jesus is joy, and we want to share that. So we hope to launch in September. That's been our goal. We don't have a venue yet. I'm also not really too worried about it, which is kind of crazy because as the COVID thing keeps going by, you know, September's getting closer. But I don't know. It's just God has told me that's not the part you have to worry about. He's going to figure it out. We had started looking for some places, but what I knew was more important was drawing together a core team that will launch with us and to go through a few months of training with them to help them get a total new concept of what church can be. Because they're from several different churches in the country, but all the churches are very traditional in certain aspects, and we want to do church that looks different. And so everybody needs to learn and get on the same page and understand what kind of culture are we going to create. And it's very outward focused. And I'm excited about the opportunity.
I feel like, I don't know. Obviously, God lets things happen for a reason. This whole COVID thing is like shaking up so much, that you're like, this is not okay. But then just as you're talking and just wanting to create that new type of culture, And I feel like especially like all the Zoom meetings right now and not having a building, you're forced, this is stuff you've already thought of, I'm just speaking it out loud. Like you're forced to create that community and to see you have this gift, and like you can't do anything specifically, you can't paint a wall, you can't get things ready materialistically. So you're forced to get things ready on the foundational level. And I feel like so many times just by human nature, we have the building, but we don't have the foundation of people in it. So what good is it? But you guys truly are almost having like this soft launch now via Zoom, via these meetings where you're going to have such a tight-knit community that I don't know, I just feel really impressed, I guess, maybe that this is so God ordained for you guys, like when September comes or whenever God's timing is, you really are just going to hit the ground running, and just have such a community already, which is exciting. I'm like, I want to go to Dominican.
Yeah. I'm ready. We hope to launch an online presence in the next, probably within a couple of weeks or so.
Cool.
I want to start actually coffee with the girls, café con las chicas, and do through Zoom, putting a Facebook group interest group for people that want to know something about the church, and open to anybody that just wants to see more. And we'll be on live a little bit so they can get to know us as parents and family, and then start a small group for the moms that I've been making friends with, and we're all at home going, we have preteens, and you've got to know what's going on in your house is the same as going in mine. And I think that there's just more ways that I can connect with them right now. And so we're praying a lot about that. Yeah. And I'm glad I don't have to worry about a building that's sitting there not getting painted or not getting fixed up. We don't have it yet, so I don't have to worry.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's true.
Good point.
Well, yeah, we definitely want to make that a point of prayer. And if you're tuning in, go ahead and write that down. This launching of Comunidad Vida y Gozo, life and joy community, right? Okay. Yeah, and we'll be praying for that. Just God is behind that. And just with the few minutes that we have left, I kind of wanted to go back to something you had said, which was that when you felt God telling you to plant a church, your response was laughing. Good old Sarah and Abraham there. But I wanted to just.
Did you just call me really old? I think you just.
Oh no! Oh my goodness!
I'm kidding. That's
it. There's no recovery from that.
So what I was saying.
No.
You're forgiven.
Is that you're really young?
No, but I was interested to hear kind of more specifically, what were the challenges that you felt, not necessarily personally, but the challenges of starting a church like this? Because you mentioned that churches can be very traditional and you're looking to start in a new way. So what were some of the challenges, and are some of the challenges you're viewing when you think about doing church differently?
Okay. And too, Berly, if you had a resistance to wanting to plant.
Yeah, well, for me, it's the music. That is okay to have a rehearsal that you practice very well, that you choose the person that is going to sing right, that the singer don't need to preach while they are playing. They sometimes waste their time 1 hour just preaching without singing. That it's okay to worship and wait for the message later.
Wow.
It's okay.
I'm sure that's stepping on toes, thinking like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very nervous in the beginning and still am at times when I think about these things, and I try not to think about these things. But we want to start a church where the service time is going to be shorter. I mean, Latin America, church goes for 2 hours or more than that. No, we want a service to be an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half max, because the demographic that we want to reach, that's their time frame. They don't want to hang out longer than that. We want it to be more casual. I'm from the Northwest. Last time we itinerated and I was in the pulpit, preaching, I never had to wear a dress because that's not the culture. I would love to introduce a more casual attire, even on the platform in the Dominican Republic. And that's like, ooh, wow, that I'm touching, stepping on some toes and stuff. And we want to, I just want to do things in ways that I know are different enough from the traditional church that I know I'll hit some walls and I'll hear conflict. And, it would just be easier to say, let's let somebody else do that. But no one else is doing that. There's a lot of younger pastors that are graduating from Bible school here that feel like our country needs a new prototype of church and they want to see it done a different way, but they don't have any model and they don't know where to start. And I feel like God has called me to be a change maker and to help them see how it can be done. And I would love to see a multiplication of church planners in the Dominican Republic doing church in a new way to reach the people that don't want to come to the churches that we already have.
Sure.
And want to be evangelized with the megaphone on the sidewalk, because that's not interesting to them.
It's not different just to be different. It's different to make a difference.
Yeah.
So.
And the culture here in the Dominican Republic have advanced, but not necessarily the culture of the church have a caught up with that change.
Hasn't caught up with, hasn't shifted with the young professional culture in the secular world.
Wow.
So it's time we do.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you got some comments here. Breeze Garrett says you're always a trailblazer. And Heather Schneider says yes. Amazing pioneers. And Kristen Spear, your wonderful area director, said the Bellos will always look for a solution. They continuously knock it out of the park.
Thanks, Kristen.
Praise.
And Teresa Vasquez says no recovering from that one, Noah. So yeah.
Oh, I know what she was referring to.
I've already forgotten it. So
I'll remind him. Don't worry.
Thanks, Mel.
It's been such a pleasure, but before we end, I just want to give you an opportunity if there anything else was on your heart or that you felt like you wanted to share, a prayer request or a praise or just a comment about anything.
We'd love help. If anybody's looking for a place to serve, there is a place for you in the Dominican Republic.
Awesome.
And now that we've added a church plant to the mix, there's nothing that you could say you want to do that you couldn't do working with us. Youth ministry, university, children's, adults, working with addicts, working with sex trafficking, prevention, all of that. We have different aspects, and we love to be able to invest in people that want to serve. And so check out the opportunities on the LAC World Mission site. And
I think Noah's going to try to grab it
I'm
here.
trying to pull it up. Oh, here we go. So here, I'm going to put it on the screen real quick.
Yeah, if you're watching and you want to know, how do I do that? How do I find an opportunity? Do what Noah's doing.
So you go here, and as you can see, there's a little chat thing that comes up, and you can chat, and that'll go right to someone. But what you want to do is you want to go to connect.
Can I see it?
Yes. Connect, and then you go down to join. You hit join there, join our team, and you go down here, country, go to the Dominican Republic, and you will see here opportunity in Santo Domingo, youth ministry intern, university campus. You can see lots of different opportunities there. You click on the opportunity, it'll come down, talk a little bit about it, and then it says 1 to 11-month assignment or 1 to 2-year assignment, and you can hit the contact there, and a form will pop up, and boom, boom, boom. So it's that simple.
And I just want to reiterate, if which I think I say every single time we talk about this, hitting that button does not automatically sign you up, and now you're locked in forever.
Yes.
It is merely an interest contact form. So, I feel like this is a big step if you want to serve, and don't get nervous to press that button. It's just to find out more information. But if you really are interested, that's the step that you need to take also. So for anybody, whether or not how sure you are, press the button, find out more.
Yeah. And what Leah, like we mentioned, Leah Musacchio, she'll receive that email. Yeah. She's going to connect you directly with Jamie and Berly. So that's who you've heard their voices for the last 45 minutes. You've gotten to know them a little bit. Now you can have a deeper conversation about what this thing
and they're
like.
Young.
The newborn babies.
There's also one other way, and Shoop was on earlier. I don't know if he's still there, but we received engaged students. Engagelife.org. You can go to that site and come to the DR, and that's specifically for those who are university student age and want to be studying at the university of your choice in the States while you're working with us. And that is awesome. We've received a lot of students, and they make lifelong friends with our university students here. Awesome opportunity.
Yeah, I just like to interrupt real quick, because in case you're watching and you don't know what engage is, you basically just summed it up, but she's not saying if you're engaged, which I know can be interesting. It's a separate program that she just talked about if university abroad. So if you wanted to show that screen, or you're not going to do it.
I just did.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm here. I miss everything.
And I'll put that in the comments too here, engage my life, or Meryl.
But that's good to know. That's really good to know.
Yes. So before we sign off, we want to get a couple more comments. Diera's journey to the Dominican Republic. She says, pick me. Oh, wait, I'm already coming. Can't wait to be
ready to come.
I like this girl already.
That's wonderful. Awesome. And then Amanda Rixey says, yes, come to the DR. Love being part of the team.
She's working with us, and she's been here for like 9 years. So.
Wow,
that's amazing.
That's incredible. Well, we want to kind of thank you for your time again. We want to end by just praying for you and asking God to bless your ministry and your family. And I know, too, for those who are watching and are maybe not aware, missionaries, live by supported funds. And so when times get tough, sometimes that support can dwindle. And so we want to pray that God will continue to provide financially for the ministry, for you as a family. All right. So you want to pray? She wants me to pray.
Is that right?
All right. Let's pray. I'll do a little in Spanish, and then we'll pray in English. Gracias, Padre, por esta noche, por esta pareja, por Jamie and Berly, Bello, y por su ministerio. En el nombre de Jesús, oro que bendice en cada aspecto de su vida, en su apoyo financiero, en tus ministros, en la música del Berly y la iglesia que están plantados en este momento. Entonces, bendice in each, in every moment, God. We just pray, Lord, that you will provide for them financially, provide for them relationally, and for this new church that they're planning, God. We thank you for their commitment to you, God. Thank you that, Lord, we thank you that even though they're in the Dominican Republic, Lord, and wherever you're watching from, you're in a different place, but we feel connected, Lord, because we have like-minded spirits, Lord, and because your presence is still working, and we're all facing similar situations, God. So I just pray that you will, I pray specifically for moments, God, moments with their kids, moment in their ministries, with even within their marriage, moments, Lord God, where you just kind of part the Red Sea and you just meet them in their hearts to let you know, I hear you, I see you, I'm providing, and you're doing a great job, and you're following me, and I'm going to bless you and use the work of your hands, Lord. Just thank you for this time together, and thank you for the opportunity to get to know missions and to get one step closer to missions, God. We thank you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you guys again for giving us your time and your wisdom and just telling a little bit of your story.
Thank you for the
Thank you
invitation.
for inviting us. Yeah, it was fun.
Pleasure.
And so there's different ways they can connect with you, different websites, but your email as well for someone who might want to connect with you directly.
Yeah, it's my first name, JAMIE dot BELLO at agmd.org.
Awesome.
All right.
Our website is easy. It's our last name with an S.org.
Oh, great.
Right.
Bello.org.
Bello.org. Okay,
Awesome.
wonderful. Check that out.
Yeah.
All right, well, God bless you guys, and thank you to everyone for tuning in and commenting. We love you, and we'll see you next month on Coffee with the Missionary.
Bye.